Good morning. I'm going to call to order this work session, July 6, 2022. We have one item on our agenda, ordinance 2022-20, Kings Road Farm Rezone. We can bring Mr. Myers into panel, please. Here he is. Thank you. Drew, you are, oh, there you go. Perfect. Tell us all about it, please.
All right, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to share my screen here. 1 second. Okay, can you see the screen? Great. So this is the Kings Road Farm Rezone REZ 22-3, also known as Ordinance 2022-20. This is a rezone request from State Residential 2.5 to Agricultural Rural Reserve. It is on 19.12 acres. It's in Benton South Township, excuse me, section 30.
What's this background? Excuse me, I'm sorry, Drew. What's the background noise?
The background noise, is it bothersome? 1 second. There's another meeting going on in the planning room. 1 second.
Drew has let us know that it's going to be a moment and he'll be back. Oh, there he is. And you're still muted. Thank you.
All right. So that should be a little better there. Okay, where I left off, just going over some quick summary for this petition. Essentially, this was reviewed by the Plan Review Committee as well as the Historic Preservation Board and the Plan Commission. The Plan Commission forwarded this petition with a positive recommendation to the Board of Commissioners on a vote of 5 to 4. There was a condition that was crafted by planning staff as well as the Historic Preservation Board, and that condition reads: the petitioner submit a written commitment that the property owner submit an application for the historic preservation overlay within 2 years for the rezone approval. If the historic preservation overlay is not applied for within 2 years, the owner will not remonstrate against an overlay application prompted by the Monroe County Historic Preservation Board. So as I stated, the HP board was in support of this petition with respect to the historic nature of the property. There are some structures that have some historical contributions, and the property owner is looking to in the future restore some of those structures. Overall, the primary reason for initiating the rezone request is that the property owner is looking to establish a tourist home / cabin on the property. Now, tourist home / cabin use is not permitted use in the RE 2.5 zoning district. However, it is permitted in the Ag RR district. So if the rezone request is approved by the county commissioners, the petitioner intends to complete that planning process for establishing a tourist home / cabin, which involves a site plan and meeting all of the requirements for that use within Chapter 802. If the rezone is denied, the petitioner may continue to operate the property as a single-family residence, or may pursue any of the available uses as outlined in Chapter 833 for the RE 2.5 zone, as long as any of those uses conditions can be met as well, if there are any. So I also included definitions on here: the short-term lodging agreement, as well as tourist home / cabin. And item number 48, which is those requirements from chapter 802 for the tourist home / cabin. A little bit of background, just some definitions for each of the zoning districts that are involved here. And then through the rest of this report, I have reviewed the location map, the zoning map. You'll note RE 2.5 here and the neighboring properties. There is some Ag RR districts to the east. And here's the slope map. This property is a part of a subdivision. There's the only lot, I believe, in the subdivision that is built out. The neighborhood has multiple properties with homes, but this specific property and its related platted lots are part of a subdivision plat itself that continue north, but the remainder of those lots are still yet to be built out. They are all also owned by the current owner of this property here. This area you see in the slope map area, that's all red where there's a ravine that comes through. Most of this area is actually in a conservation easement that extends south. So most of the buildable area is over here. Of course, in the blue, that is the 12%, which is definitely capable of receiving building permits if all of their conditions can be met. So the rest of this report has some aerial imagery here of the site. If you have any questions about it, any of it, we can stop and look. This is the farmhouse that they will be using for the tourist home / cabin. And then there's a couple barn structures that are back here. The petitioner does not let anyone in the barns at the time or at the current moment. They do have a long-term, or have had a long-term renter at the property before, but they are worried about the integrity of the structures. So they don't let any members of the public or tenants in these structures. More pictures through the report here. I will have a full-fledged PowerPoint for the regular session. So this is primarily just to answer any questions or gather questions from you if you have any. The comprehensive plan has it designated as Nakua rural transition, excuse me. And there's some discussion here about what that means in this area of the report. Findings of fact as well included in here for the rezone request. And then we have the petitioner's letter to the Plan Commission, some other items, exhibits that are relevant for the request. I also included some use tables here comparing the uses between the RE 2.5 zone and the agricultural reserve zone. The stars indicate that the use is shared between the chapters, or it's very similar to a use in each chapter. And as you'll note, the agricultural reserve zone has a lot more uses available, many of them primarily agricultural in nature. We can come back to any of those if you wish. So I'm going to keep scrolling. This is the letters of support. We did have some letters of support from members of the public and colleagues of the petitioner. And then we had some letters of opposition submitted by neighbors and other members of the public. You'll note that there's one primary letter of opposition. You keep scrolling here, and that is signed by many members or neighbors in the area. We've had a lot of turnout for public comment with respect to the Plan Commission meetings. So there's been a lot of dialogue between the committee boards, planning staff, petitioner, and neighbors and colleagues regarding this petition and its suitability for this area. I think that is the gist of it. Does anyone have any questions for me right now?
Thank you so much, Mr. Myers. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
No, this is a lot to digest in this short of a time.
Yeah. Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I was just wondering what would be the maximum occupancy?
That's a good question. I believe that we do have a maximum occupancy for tourist homes / cabins. No more than 2 guests per guest room is one of them. And I believe that the petitioner has also stated that they will not be having any sort of party type of renting, that they'll be vetting guests to make sure that they're not looking to establish some sort of party or have a large gathering. I think they may have even stated that a limit to 6 guests can stay. But that's a good question specifically for the property owner as well.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. We can also forward questions to Mr. Myers via email. It sounds like we probably don't want to hear this next week. Is that a good assumption?
Yes.
Okay. We are not meeting on the 20th of July, so that leaves July 27th. Does that work for you, Mr. Myers?
Yes, that actually works well with the petitioner because they will be out of town the next couple of weeks. However, I will be out of town on the 27th. A staff member could cover, but if you'd like for me to stay on, since I'm the primary contact with this one, we may have to select a different date.
Would, how about, are you going to be gone the following Wednesday, which is the first Wednesday in August, August 3rd?
Unfortunately, my travels are from Wednesday to Wednesday.
Okay, so petitioner, would you rather us meet on the 27th or on the 10th to talk about this? Okay, 10th of August, sounds
Okay.
good. Okay,
Okay.
great, thank you.
Tina was
Great.
trying to tell us something.
You talking to me?
We changed it, don't worry about it. So the 10th of August, does that work for you, Mr. Myers?
Yes, that works for me.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, good. All right, thank you so much. If we have questions, we'll send them to you via email in the interim, and we'll send them to you before the 27th.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Till the 10th, okay.
Okay, yes. All right. Does any other department have anything for our work session? Okay, great. Looks like we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, petitioner. Dr. Voorhees, thank you.